Today I'm going to show you how to use template to solve any Leetcode problem. Even if you don't um, completely solve this problem, you will have shown the interviewer that you have the thinking ability, and even that might be enough in some cases. So let me show you how to use this template um, in your real coding interviews. So today I'm going to use the example of today's lead code problem, which is this one. Um, yeah, so container with most water. Now, first thing I will do is I will start with a comment here, and as I go through the problem, I will write down few things. So this is the template that I'm talking about today. You are given an integer array height of length n. So here from this sentence we understand what is the input. So input is int array, right? That's the input. I would actually go ahead and delete this as well. I would just keep this name. Um, okay. Yeah. Okay. So we have got input array, and then what is the output of this? Of length n, and there are n vertical lines drawn such that two endpoints are the heights. Okay, this is fine. Find the two lines together with the x-axis from the container such that the container contains most water. And return the maximum amount of water a container can store. So we have to return a max water. So it will be again int, right? So that's it, and just write here max contain something like this. Okay, next step is to give an understanding of size and get an understanding of the size. So I would write size here, and I would ask interviewer, so for this height, what kind of size are we expecting? Can it be empty, so a zero element height? So he will say no or anything from here. So from here you can see that the heights array can start from 2 and it will go until 10 raised to 5. So in real interview they would say something like assume it's not empty and it has at least two elements, and it can have a reasonable length. So yeah, so write down something like this, 100k 10 raised to 5, I guess. um, and then the important thing is vals. So I write another thing here, values. So I will ask the interviewer again that okay, we have the size and we know this is int array, so can we discuss some values? So what can this array contain a zero value? That would be answer yes. Can it have a negative values? In this case it will not, I think, because height will be always positive. So if you see here, the height is going to be positive. Yeah, so no negatives something. So I will write like this. Another question to ask in such type of questions is, can it have duplicates? Sometimes this is a very important question. In this case it doesn't matter, it will have duplicates. So okay, duplicates, and it will have obviously positive values, but you can also check is this are these values gonna fit in integer, or what is the maximum value this can have. So here you can see it can go to 10 raised to 4 or maybe 10k max number. Okay, and 0. Yeah, so this is the initial talking. Now I don't go directly to the solutions. I will talk about the test cases and edge cases. So write test and edge, and I will think about some of the edge cases that could happen here. So one edge case that is directly coming to my mind is all heights are same. Okay. Next, uh, all heights increasing order, all decreasing order, something like this. Um, just two heights. So these are few test cases and edge cases that I would say out loud and write something in short. Um, yeah, you can think more if you want, but don't spend a lot of time here because we want to get to the answer. And the last thing, not the last thing, but here I will write the algo. So we'll discuss the algo here, but I would make some space and go here and write time and space complexity. So this gives into your idea that okay, he is also thinking about time and space before coding something. And then I would go back to algorithm and discuss few things. So first is brute force. Can I at least solve this problem with any solution like brute force solution? So let's see if I can solve this one. Right. Um, okay, so what we are given is these are the heights. In this example, there is an image, so it makes it easier. We have array of n and we have heights. So we want to find um, which two heights make the maximum container for the water. So from first thing, the brute force approach I can think of is start from the first height and check its array with each height after that. So for this particular one, what is the area or water containing between these two? So before that, we need to understand how we can get the water contained between two heights. So the area or container is going to be height into width, right? So we already have the height and we can only contain the minimum of it. So minimum of two heights, um, right, into width. Now what is the width? The width will be the distance between these two. So index uh, of right minus index of left. So that's the width. So that into this minimum height is going to give us area. So the brute force approach will be just going through each, multiplying each time here, and whichever is the updating the max if it is greater than, if the new area is greater than previous area. So keep doing this for the same. So you can solve this using this two for loops, but I can see that this is not an efficient solution. This is a brute force solution. So I would think, so I would say that okay, this can work, but it will be O of n square solution. So I will write, can we do better? Um, and if you're not coming up with the better solution, just go ahead and quote the brute force solution, whatever you have. But in this case, I know I can do better because I know I have solved this problem before, and even if I'm not, I can think of a pattern which is two pointers that can be used to solve it in O of n time. Yeah, so how can I do better is use two pointers. Um, so that's two pointer solution. We start from um, so intuition behind two pointers is um, to get the maximum area, we want the maximum max heights, but along with that we want the distance, that is width between these two heights, to be maximum. So to have that, we can start one pointer at the end, start and one pointer at the end. This will give us the maximum distance, and we can then go in that way. So yeah, the intuition is to use two pointers, and um, the solution remains same. Area of two heights, which is the height this one and this one, whichever min we have. So for example, for the first iteration we'll have this as minimum into the width, so width will be the maximum we have so far. So 0 minus I think 8, yeah, and so that will give us the area, so that will be 8. And now that's the first iteration. Then we'll update the left and right pointers. So left becomes, if height of left is less than height of right, then we update the left pointer, so we go L plus equal to 1, otherwise we go right minus equal to 1. So this is how I will do it, and it will have time complexity of O of n, and space complexity I can come back and write after coding, but in this case I think it's gonna be O of 1 because I'm not gonna use any extra space. So now that I have written all this, and why did I remove the existing Leetcode question? Because I have observed in some interviews they don't give anything, just they just give the problem. So you have to come up with this inputs and outputs, and based on this you have to write the functions. So let's do that. So now the class, we have solution. So this is standard for Leetcode, so let's keep it that. And we define a function which was the name that Leetcode accepts, max area. And because this is a class function, we have to have the self keyword here, and then we have the two inputs. So we, in this case, we only have one input, which is integer array. So we can say height. So height is list of int, right? And this returns int. So that's the definition of the function. And now we can go ahead and implement our two pointer solution. So I will say left and right is equal to 0, and height, len of height, minus 1. So we start at the start and the end of the array, and we have, let's say, max area is equal to 0. Okay, now we do the loop. So while L is less than R, there is no point in checking when the both heights are same. What we want to do is we want to calculate the width. So width will be, as I said, this minus this, so R minus L, and for our case height will be, um, let's say min height will be min of heights array of L and height array of R. Okay, so this is what we got. The area is so now we have the formula, so we can just do min height, I'm gonna call this height, so min height into width. So that's the area. Now if this area is greater than max area, then we update the max area. We can here use max function instead of if else, but yeah, anything works. um, so we have now updated the max area. Now if that mean height was coming from the left side, right, um, then we go uh, forward from the left plus 1 equal to 1, and otherwise that means this was the smaller side, so we move from here, so r minus equal to 1. So I think that's pretty much that's and then we return the max area. So this is pretty much the solution, but before submitting or running any test cases, um, I would dry run through one of the test case we write here. So, or the example, I'm not going to do that completely, but let me just check if it works for at least these three cases. So we got this, we have the max area set to 0, L is less than R, that is true because it starts 0 and length minus 1. So width is equal to R minus L. So let's say this is 8 minus 0, that is 8. Mean height is 1 and 8, so 1. So area will be mean height into width, so 1 into 8 area will be greater than max area, so we update it, and now mean height is 1, right, and it is height of left, so we move from left to here, and we don't go here, so we go back again. This is the right, this is the left, so width now becomes 7. Mean height becomes this one, which is 7. Area will be 7 into 7, that is 49. It is greater than max area, so we update that, and then this is not equal to this one, so we move the right pointer here and return max area. So in our case it was 49. We calculated, okay, it's gonna be 49. So now we can go ahead and submit it. But if you have this test cases, just write a few of the edge cases that you wrote. So let's say 4 4 4 4, which was all heights are same. So in that case it's gonna be this into 4 into the maximum difference, which is in this case 2, I guess, and then submit. Yeah, so it is working fine. It was 3, and yeah, that's it. So let me just submit this and see if it works. Yeah, so you can see here this is pretty efficient, and yeah, it this video has gotten a bit long, but I think if you do this, at least the template, input output size values, test cases, and even if you come up with some algorithms, but you cannot do the efficient one, I think the interviewers will notice that you have a good problem solving skills. You just need more time to solve it completely. So yeah, thank you so much. Stay curious, stay consistent. See you in the next one.